The bonfire crackles slowly. The wood burns with difficulty, as if the fire also needed time. The wind blows low. It carries the scent of salt and mist. Today, the story doesn't begin with an attack. It begins with silence, with what remains after the battle. In the land of waves, not every fight ends when the blades fall away. Some continue. Inside houses, inside people. While some train to become stronger, others try only to keep living. Not every enemy uses a sword. Not every mission involves combat. Come closer to the fire. Listen carefully. This is the story of what is learned before the next fight begins. Tazuna and his assistant continue working on the bridge construction. Sakura watches attentively, despite being visibly sleepy. Tazuna walks by carrying a wooden support and asks where the strange blonde boy and the other cocky one are. Sakura replies that they are both training, climbing trees. Tazuna questions why Sakura isn't training too, implying that perhaps the exercise is too strenuous for a young ninja. She explains that she was the first to finish the training, performing better than the two of them. That's why Kakashi released her to accompany and protect the bridge builder. Tazuna's assistant approaches and reveals his concern. He says he has already risked too much working on that bridge, just out of friendship, but he has reached his limit. The situation is too dangerous. Tazuna becomes agitated and asks why. The assistant fears for his life. Every day on the bridge could be his last. When Gato's henchmen arrive, they will kill everyone, including Tazuna, and the construction will be halted. He begs Tazuna to give up while they can still get out alive. Tazuna refuses. He explains that the island is poor and that the bridge is the only path to prosperity. It's not just concrete and wood, it's commerce, work, dignity, and hope. The assistant insists that none of that will exist if they die. Tazuna interrupts him, saying it's lunchtime. He states that his friend doesn't need to return to work after the meal if he doesn't want to. Later that day, Tazuna and Sakura went to the city center. Upon arriving at the main village, Sakura asks where they are. Tazuna explains that they need to buy ingredients for dinner. As they walk, Sakura observes the poverty of the region. Children living on the streets, thefts happening in broad daylight, people offering hard labor in exchange for almost nothing. They enter a small market. Sakura is shocked to see the shelves almost empty, very different from Konoha. While she is distracted, a thief tries to steal her purse. Sakura reacts quickly and immobilizes him with a precise blow. Tazuna comments in surprise on her ability to defend herself, saying that the women of the island are not usually like that. At that moment, a small child, dirty and with torn clothes, holds Sakura's clothes. With hands clasped and a shy smile, he asks for anything. Sakura holds back tears and hands over some candies she had bought in Konoha. Tazuna explains that this has been the reality since Gato's arrival. The children suffer. The adults don't have the courage to confront him. The bridge will bring not only economic prosperity, but also courage. When it's finished, the people will once again believe they can live with dignity. Sakura feels deeply troubled and wishes she could help. Later, under a twilight sky, Naruto and Sasuke continue their training. Both are panting. Naruto complains about the difficulty of climbing trees. They stare at each other. This has ceased to be just training. It's become a competition. Naruto recalls Sakura's advice: stay calm, control your anxiety, balance physical and spiritual energy. He takes a deep breath, concentrates his chakra in his feet. His gaze changes. He takes 2 steps. Sasuke calls him. Naruto loses his concentration and falls. Naruto is angry at his own failure. Sasuke tries to say something, hesitates. Asking someone something, especially Naruto, is something new for him. With difficulty, Sasuke asks what Sakura taught him. Naruto is surprised and refuses to tell. It's dinner time. Everyone is gathered around the table. Tazuna, his daughter Inari, Kakashi, and Team 7. Tazuna remarks that he doesn't remember the last time he saw his table so full. Naruto and Sasuke eat with extreme speed, even competing for food. Sakura notices a torn photograph on the kitchen wall. One person is missing. She notices Inari staring intently at the image during dinner. She asks about it. The room falls silent. Inari's mother explains that it was her husband. Tazuna says he was called a hero on the island. Inari leaves with her head down. Her mother follows, reprimanding Tazuna for bringing up the subject. Kakashi asks if there's a story behind it. Tazuna explains that the man in the photo wasn't Inari's biological father. He came later and brought happiness. Inari laughed. She was happy. But then everything changed. It was on that day that Inari lost her smile, and the village lost its courage. Kakashi asks Tazuna to continue the story. Tazuna takes a deep breath before speaking. He says that the man removed from the photograph was not Inari's biological father. He came to the family later, and with him came a period of true happiness for everyone in that house. That man was called Kaiza. Some years ago, Inari was still a small child and was playing on a pier near the sea, accompanied by his dog. 3 other children approached, began to tease him, and tried to steal the animal. The situation got out of control. The children threw the dog into the sea and dared Inari to go get it. Inari panicked. He couldn't swim. The children then pushed him. Inari fell into the water and began to drown, struggling desperately. The dog, by instinct, managed to swim. Inari couldn't. Sometime later, Inari woke up on dry land, confused, scared, and shivering with cold. Nearby, a man was roasting fish over a fire. He invited Inari to come closer and eat with him. He said he had already spoken to the other children. They wouldn't bother him anymore. While they ate, the man asked about the dog. He spoke about dogs and loyalty. He said that where he came from, dogs never abandon their owners. But he also said something that deeply affected Inari. If the owner abandons the dog doesn't stay to help either. Inari, crying, said he was a coward, that he was afraid to jump into the water. The man smiled and replied that, at that age, he also felt fear. He said that feeling fear is part of life. Before saying goodbye, the man said something Inari never forgot. Live your life without regrets. If you love something, protect it, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how sad it is. Keep trying, even if you have to risk your own life. Protect it with both your arms. Never give up. That man was Kaiza, a young traveling fisherman who had arrived on the island in search of his dreams. After that, Kaiza and Inari became inseparable. Inari never knew his biological father, so that fisherman came to occupy a very important place in his life. Inari admired him. He followed him everywhere. They were like father and son. Over time, Kaiza became part of Tezuna's family. When the people of the island needed him, Kaiza proved to be someone special. There was a great storm. The floodgates in the region could not withstand the force of the water and began to give way. If they weren't closed in time, a flood would destroy everything. Kaiza was the only one who volunteered. He waded through a violent torrent, fighting against the current, and managed to tie the rope to the gate so it could be pulled and closed. That day, Kaiza taught everyone the true meaning of courage. But it wasn't long before Gato appeared and took over the island. Kaiza was the only one who openly opposed him. Gato ordered his men to finish him off. Kaiza was brutally beaten, tied up in the public square, and executed before everyone, as an example of what would happen to anyone who dared to resist. Inari was there. He saw everything. That day, Inari lost the father he had chosen, and the village lost its courage. Tezuna, with tears in his eyes, says that it was at that moment that everything changed. Inari never smiled again, and the people came to believe that heroes didn't exist.
Naruto is furious. He realizes he's still weak, that he needs to train more. Kakashi recommends rest. Excess chakra can kill. Naruto replies firmly, "I'll prove it, that in this world there are true heroes." Elsewhere, far from the village and enveloped in the silence that remained after the battle, Haku kneels beside Zabuza's body. He prepares his tools, ready to remove the bandages and begin the blood drainage process. Before he can move forward, Zabuza's hand moves abruptly and grips Haku's wrist tightly. Zabuza awakens and angrily orders him to stop immediately. Haku, showing no fear or surprise, calmly replies that he has finally returned to life. Zabuza complains about the needles stuck in his neck, saying that it was too cruel. Haku replies that he only did what was necessary. Then, Haku removes the mask. The revealed face is delicate, young, with soft features and an equally soft, feminine voice. Haku explains that the neck was the most efficient point to put him in that state. He didn't want to mark other parts of Zabuza's body. Because his neck lacked significant muscle mass, it was possible to precisely target the points that would induce a state of temporary death. Zabuza tries to stand up, but fails. His body doesn't respond. Haku warns him not to try again. He explains that his body will remain rigid for about a week. For someone as stubborn as Zabuza, perhaps half that time would be enough to regain some movement. Later, Gato appears accompanied by 2 guards. He humiliates Zabuza, reminding him of his position and previous failure. Gato tries to touch Zabuza, but Haku stops him by holding his hand. The guards draw their swords, but are easily subdued by Haku's speed. Irritated, Gato retreats, leaving a clear threat. If something like this happens again, he and his men will put a definitive end to Zabuza. Zabuza, his eyes filled with hatred, states with conviction, "Next time, you'll see through that damned Sharingan." The bonfires lower now. The flames have diminished, but they still persist. Today there was no victory. There was preparation. Some learned to control their own chakra. Others learned that strength is not born ready-made. It is built. In the land of waves, night falls heavily. The fog returns slowly, and the danger has not gone away. The mission continues. The training, too. Rest. Tomorrow it will be necessary to climb higher. Good night.